Yeah, hi everyone. It's me, Dipanshu Khanna. It's been a long time that I have, stopped uploading the videos a long back, and so I thought of again coming back to the YouTube channel and upload a lot of good stuff that is coming in my way in and what I have done in my past few years, whether it's from the journey started from the malwares and all that stuff, pen testing, bounties, and investigations and a lot more. Recently, I've been involved in a lot of investigations, and a lot of times a question being is being asked, like what should be the tools, what should be the starting point, how to set up your own lab. A lot of stuff is being asked, about the lab setup. So I thought, why not to start with the setting up the lab which is there in in used in the investigations. So I was thinking of starting the lab from the OSINT itself, because that is the pre-basic thing that is to be done whenever we are performing any sort of investigation, whether it's the cyber threat investigations, whether it's for image investigations, whether it's for the fake email that is being come, whether it's the ransomware investigation. OSINT always plays, a very critical and important role when it comes to the investigations. So I thought of creating a video, starting from the OSINT itself, open source intelligent, and what sort of my labs look like, okay, how my lab usually looks like, what exactly I start with, okay, what things I do, at the back to start my lab with. So whenever I have to set up my lab, this is my basic lab setup for OSINT. I will not go through all the tools that I will go through the tools, these as when I have to start something with, in OSINT investigation, how I start, what tools I use in the very beginning, and then based on the responses that I get, I usually, go dig deeper, use the in-depth tools, I check what exactly I need to do. I have my own a lot of sock puppet profiles, which help me to investigate online, and I always like to keep myself under the hood. Okay, so I thought of creating a good series based on the OSINT, starting from the lab setup, and this lab setup is clearly from my attack and my days of attacks and my days of investigations, and I checked some of the tools, they are not working, but the tools that I work on, I have a lot of my own, tools which are there with me. I have created a lot of scripts written in PowerShell, Python. So as we go along in the course, I will definitely go through all those tools and all those scripts. I will keep on uploading those scripts, tools on my GitHub portal as well. As of now, I have not uploaded much on the GitHub, but I'm now planning to, to give away or to the give away all those scripts, tools for free of cost. So stay tuned for more videos. This will be my first video of lab setup. So enough of talk. Let's do a basic lab setup for OSINT, which is clearly from the ongoing investigations, as the real-time investigators, how they, what type of tools they use, and how they proceed with the investigations. So this is my Ubuntu machine. If you can see, this is my Ubuntu machine. If I'll do a sudo uname minus a, you can see this is the Ubuntu 22.004, and and currently with the time zones and all that stuff, the very first thing that we always do is sudo apt update, so that we have all the packages that we need to install in this. So, and here it is. So we have all the, setup involved in it. The very first thing that we always install is the JIT. Then we'll install Python 3 pip. Then I will install snapd, I will install Cherry Tree. Cherry Tree, if those who don't know, Cherry Tree is is a text editor which has a lot of capabilities. I started using Cherry Tree during my bounty days. I used to create a lot of good reports using Cherry Trees and investigation reports as well, which are accepted in a lot of firms. So I use Cherry Tree a lot, and I expect everybody to use Cherry Tree. And I don't use the this normal terminal. I use the Terminator, which is specifically was built for to work on multiple windows. So I use Terminator. Now if you can see, almost all my packages are already there. What I do, I'll just simply install, and I'll just go ahead and start with the Terminator. If I'll go there, s- let me just search for Terminator. So let me just over there. It is already done. I'll close this stuff, and we're here. So who am I? This is usually a very fake name that I use. Don't go and search for my alias onto this. I hardly use this as my, my name online. This is just a fake name that I have given myself, for the machine. So the very first thing that I usually install is the browser. The browser that I use is not the normal browser. I use the Brave browser. The Brave browser, it has a lot of capabilities. It keep me secure online. When I have to surf online, I can switch between Tor, non-Tor browser. A lot of ad blockers are there, a lot of malicious sites it block. So it's a pretty cool browser, and it's very good. I recommend everybody to to use it. Before that, let me check if curl is there. Yes, so curl is there. Let me just quickly curl the JPEG. So GPG, sudo curl. Let me try this. Yep, sorry for the wrong command. It's already updated. Let me just download the complete package, the deb here. Let me just cd OSINT so that everything remains here. It's done. Let me just sudo update. Oh, sudo apt update. Sorry for that. And let me just sudo apt install Brave browser. So if anybody wants to, look at how Brave browser looks like, you can have it over here. So this is my Brave browser. Let me just quickly utilize it. So this is how the Brave browser usually looks like. If you really want to, switch between the private window with Tor and all, you can quickly do that, and it's pretty cool. So now if you are searching anything on that, let me just go to my favorite browser, DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckDuck. Okay. Now if you see DuckDuckGo, let me just check what is my IP address. Come on, Cloudflare. So if you can see my current IP address, my IPv6, and I'm currently accessing everything from California. So this is how I, usually use my Brave browser for almost everything, and I highly recommend everybody to, to use it. The second thing that I use is the Mag changer. whenever I have to surf on internet, I definitely change my MAC address immediately. This is even if it is a changed MAC. Let me just check how I utilize MAC ENS33, and you can see my MAC is changed. My actual MAC was this, my current MAC was this, and it is changed to this. Now, whenever I'm surfing on internet, wherever the machines, they store the host names, MAC address, IP address in the form of cookies and all, wherever we accept those cookies, it usually stores your MAC address. So it keeps somewhat of anonymity on the internet. But of course, if you use the Tor browser and all those stuff, it's better to use the Brave browser instead of the Tor browser. It has a lot of other capabilities as well. Then I generally, have another very good tool which is called the Migrate, which is nothing but a very beautiful tool, Migrate, which is to search for all the usernames. This I use a lot, whenever I have to conduct a OSINT search regarding a username. Okay, you can just use sudo migrate. No, what's the problem? I think it's a spelling mistake. Migrate minus a. So if you do help, you see a lot of sites. If I'll just choose the top sites, ranked as the Alexa, ranked by the Alexa and all, if you want to have our tags, if you want to have this, I generally go with minus a. You can also specify your domains and all, for that. If you have the Tor proxy, to be enabled, and if you have the database in the form of a JSON or HTTP web resource, you can utilize this. I generally simply use, let's suppose, sudo. I will not go through now. Migrate minus a, maybe let's suppose Joker, and I want the results in the HTML file. You can have a look. I generally store all my results in the form of HTML only. I don't like any other thing. So if I'll just do a migrate, it will start searching on all the things. And and if you see whatever the greens are, it already include. I'll just cancel it. So if you want to go to let's start with, again we have this side. Just on this one, let me just copy, go, and check it. Let's see what's there. If you can see, there is only one follower. So usually how we proceed on for OCNT, we do a lot of sock puppets. We create a lot of fake profiles. This is not my profile, of course. Definitely I will not create my sock puppet profile based on the Joker. I will definitely use some other name, but in my next coming videos, if I got time, I will definitely go through how I go through the uh, the internet, using sock puppets, how I do that investigation like that. Next is the tool that I use is the Wayback tweets. Wayback tweets is the tool which is used to to check for all the deleted tweets. If somebody, when you are doing Twitter investigations, and somebody has done a tweet and it's being deleted, so you can use the Wayback tweet. It's a very good tool. So uh, we can use the Python pick package for this. I generally like to use in this way. You can use the pip3 install as well, but I generally like to specify the Python version to it. So it is already there. If you do the Wayback tweets, you just have to specify a username on that, and specify the date and specify time. You can do a lot of other stuff with this. Then I use a very good tool, and almost everybody knows about this tool, which is the Sherlock. So I use Sherlock for a lot of things, which uses it for username and email ID for social media. Okay, so if you want to have to look Sherlock minus minus help, so you can use the output as the CSV, you can print all. You just have to use social media, oh sorry, the username across the Sherlock. It's very simple, it's very nice, it gives a very clean output. And I generally go with dump response. So whatever response that is coming to my HTTP, it should be debugging everything, so that it doesn't find so if it doesn't find anywhere on any site, it at least give me the report generally. And make sure to use Tor with it, because the thing is, with many times I have seen this, that if you are automating this request, the on many sites it get blocked because of the bot detection. So I generally prefer to use Tor, so that you have multiple switch circles or circuits in between, so that whenever you are going on online, you have a good bot. You will be able to bypass the bot detections. Now, a very important and a very good tool, which nowadays is a necessity, which is a meta detective. Meta detective is a very critical tool, you know, when it comes to hate speeches, when it comes to fake news, when it comes to investigation of phishing, when it so meta detective actually it's like a web crawler. It goes through, it checks your it checks for the metadata, and using that metadata, it try to get the information which is there, which is being spread by the fake news media, all that stuff on the internet. So meta detective, I use meta detective a lot. For this, we have to install the exif tool, which everybody knows that it uses to check the exif data, if the metadata inside the images and all. So with that, you can install Python. The best thing about these tools which I use, they already have, the the Python packages, meta detective. So sudo meta detective minus minus help. So here it is. You can just use the minus minus URL for the site to scrap. You will get a lot of, you can set up the arguments about it, and make sure to use the threads and the rate limit, to avoid any sort of blockings. And the best part about it, that you can set up an output directory and store the output results in the form of HTML. So I think till now it's very clear. It's like very simple. They have given some examples as that. You can just use these examples, to investigate about the 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 sites that performs the lot of malicious activities like phishing, hate speeches, fake news a lot of time. So a lot of time, this meta detective have helped me, to invest to in my investigations. Another very good tool, let me just clear the screen, is the I forgot the name. I think so, is the whole he, which is used for, the email ID investigations. This, you just put the email ID and it will start searching about the on the internet. So only use the this you know to check if this email ID is present anywhere or not. So for an example, if let's suppose I have to use, let's suppose, a fake email ID, sudo whole he admin at the rate test.com minus minus only used. Okay, make sure to have, so it will start searching for if this email ID is present somewhere, anywhere on internet, you know, and let's look for the results. I don't think this email ID will be used by anybody. Oh, yes. Oh, so it is used at Adobe, Eventbrite, HubSpot, Freelancers, Spotify, Pinterest, and Zoho. So let's suppose if somebody is, are doing a malicious activity and he's on some hosting site or, somewhere, this tool, you know, comes pretty handy when doing the investigations using the email ID. Another very beautiful tool which I use is the Audacity. Audacity is used when we have some audio files and all that stuff, and you are doing the investigations. Whenever, many a times that you see that that whenever some audio calls, happens between the criminals and, a lot of people, police, CID, CBIs, the agencies, FBI, all around the globe, they use the Audacity tool to check for the audio, if that audio is fake or not. A long back, a and usually in CTFs as well, we have seen the steganography based on the audios. You import the audio here, you listen to the audio, and the flags are there in the audio. But generally, what I use audios are for, if somebody is changing the voice in between, if there are disruptions in the voice, or we can get something from the back end, some voice, some train voice and all that stuff. We generally use Audacity for audio files investigation. It's a very pretty handy tool. It has helped me a lot of times, when I'm doing the audio based investigations. uh Then I use the web scrapers, such as HTTP track. So HTTP track is a very old tool. If I think I'm writing the command correctly. Yes, which web HTTP track. So this is a very nice tool, when it comes to clone the website. You just, click next, put the project name and everything. Let's suppose this project category this, next, and you just start loading the URLs into it. It will clone all the website for you. So that, why this is helpful, because for an example, you are doing an investigation based on some phishing, or some fake news, or hate speeches, or if somebody is bragging about the government and all that stuff, and government asks you to do the investigations, you copy the website so that anything goes wrong after that, or anybody takes down those pages or takes down those images and text, all that stuff, you still have a copy of it. Okay, so it comes very handy, you know uh, then I use a very good OSINT tool, which is like, is being used by almost everybody in, in the globe. Okay, so that is the Spiderfoot. So you can just clone the Spiderfoot directory from my clap, and I have already cloned it. So I generally prefer to use the Docker image for everything. If Docker is present, I generally use, or sometimes I have also written a lot of tools which in the form of, and I have converted those code and everything in the form of a Docker file, so that wherever I am, I don't need to carry the full operating system. I just carry the Docker files, have an internet connectivity, and I just, oops, oops, I forgot to write command docker build. Okay, so it will start building the tool for me. Once it is built, it is pretty much, just a command away, and you will be able to access this. So let's give it a minute, and it will be done. Spiderfoot is a very genius tool. Uh, whenever you are doing investigations for hole in hole of, identifying the leaked data, identifying the, credentials, identifying the emails. A lot of time you see the databases on internet. You can add your own sites to it, dark web, onion shares, and all that stuff on it. Spiderfoot is a super amazing tool. I have modified Spiderfoot. This is not my modified one. It's pretty the straightforward, which I have downloaded it as a demonstration from the GitHub. But I have Spiderfoot, which is in which I have done a lot of modifications, for personally for myself whenever I have to use it. So whenever I need it, I can just spin up the Spiderfoot image, and I just run it. This is for your demonstration. This is not my Spiderfoot. To how this will be done. I hope this will be done in few more minutes. Okay. Let's just kill this. Let me check if it has created some images. Yes. Sudo docker. I have to just remove the image. I'll keep the Alpine with me, or let me just remove Alpine as well. Okay. So that my operating system remains fresh whenever I have to. And to run the Docker, it's a pretty straightforward command. Once the Docker is built, just run this sudo docker run minus minus rm. I generally use so that whenever it creates a container, after use it, it automatically removes that container. And minus d is one option, and then a port, and then the name of the Docker image that I use. You can keep any name out of it. Okay, and of course, one important tool which I use a lot is, for file sharing, for secure file sharing, is the Onion share. Let me just uh, so to have Onion share, you can use the Ubuntu software machine from here. Okay, install. Let me check if Onion share is already there. Cherry tree, Firefox. Yep, Onion share is already there. You can install the Onion share from here, and you can just then run Onion share. Onion share is a very good tool. Use Onion share a lot whenever I have to transfer files to my friends. Not of course not these files, but whenever I have a lot of uh, uh, you know confidentiality to be maintained and integrity to be there, I generally use the Onion share, a lot. So if you just select any file, let me just go to download. Let's just this Bill Gates, and I'll just start sharing, stop sharing. Yeah, if I always open the tab, this is a public. Nope, I want the private key to be there. It will be. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome tool that I use almost every day, for sharing the files. And I do recommend in my organizations as well to use the, not for organization files, but for some things in there. So you can just, as of now, I don't know why it's taking too much time. Generally, it doesn't take that much time. And one very good feature is, the chat server, which I use a lot. I think so. My internet currently is blocking it. Uh, Let me just switch off the internet. Yeah. My internet currently is blocking it. I have to go to a different internet for this. So just it's a pretty straightforward tool. You can use it, at your place. And then I to store my credentials, I use Keypass Exchange. So this will be your repository. To add the Keypass, press enter to add it, and it will start downloading all the packages inside your this. So sudo apt install Keypass xc. Yep, this is the binary name. You can use the Keypass over like this. Keypass. And this, because this is a new machine, I have not created any database. You can go and create the database, continue, whichever the encryption standard you want to keep this. Decryption time you can increase, decrease. I generally keep in between, and you can use I generally use the AES only, this one. And then we have transform rounds. You can choose any. I just keep it default. And parallelism is always my two threads. I don't use more threads onto it. So use this KeyPass. It's a very cool and tool. Some more websites that I use is in India we have like the Truecaller, but for investigations in US and all, I generally use Spydialer. So it can search for phone, people, addresses, email, business. Let's suppose if I have to search for admin at test.com, what results it will give me. Come on. Cars, verify. No, fire hydrant. This one. No, this one. Verify, sorry, bus. Thing done. Spy is working, and it will start searching for this. Then a very good site which is IntelliJX, okay. So another very good website which I use is the Intellix.io, why it is very helpful is to search for the Bitcoin address. Okay, so if you have, if somebody is asking for a ransom, and you are being targeted with a ransomware address, and you have to now search for the Bitcoins, you can just put the Bitcoin address over here, and it will start its search on the on internet, about this, so that you will come to know, okay, if this is a known ransomware or somebody else, then or not. Another very good website that I use is the Dhashed. Dhashed is like the Have I Been Pwned. I use Have I Been Pwned, but the very first site that I use is the Dhash. You can search for anything over here, but if you want to specifically search for it, you can go for this, or I just keep all fields and it's done. Let's suppose I search for Bill Gates, and then you have to create account, and you can just sign in and you can do stuff over here. Then another very good website that gives the user records is the public records.sourcesystem.net, which is for the US based. We have India as well, when we have to search about the criminals and all those people. If some money trails, we have to identify who has donated how much, donations and all that stuff. You can just look to it, to this website. But if you ask me personally, there are a lot of Firefox plugins which I use apart from this. But yes, of course. So whenever I have to use Firefox, I use the VPN. I'll show you which VPN I use. I use the BrowSec, it better than other VPNs. There is a Firefox VPN as well, but I generally prefer this browser-based VPN, which I just click You can change the country as well. I generally go with US because it's better. The very first plugin that I use is a Wayback. Wayback is a very nice plugin. What it does, I have already installed in my browser because I do keep all these plugins activated in my machine. Now Wayback is like, is like, if let's suppose it is for archiving basically. Let's suppose if somebody has a page and somebody has deleted that particular page, and now you have to go back and search for that. Let me just check. Let me just tell you how it is. Yeah, this is the Wayback machine. So for example, if I want to take the screenshot of that, I just take the screenshot, save page now. If I Now it will be archiving the page. Now if I have to see in the web.archive.org how this page will look like. Oops. Okay. So this page will look like in the Wayback machine in this. So let me just, yep, sorry, here. So this page will look like here. But it's still loading. Let me just close all windows of Brave browser. Okay. So let me just close this. Close all. Let me again go back to it, to the Firefox. Let me again open it. Let me way back. Sorry. Web.archive.org. Let's check this one. I've just taken a couple of screenshots previously, but I think so this is the same screenshot. So it will load in some time and you will be able to see the page itself, that it's been archived at web.archive.org. All your previously loaded snapshots, those who have taken, the investigators, the researchers, the hackers itself, they have created the pages. It will look like the same snapshot that you have taken, so that whenever you are doing the investigation, you can refer back to this. So this comes pretty handy. The next tool that I use is the Netcraft. I think so. This is the Netcraft. Netcraft gives a lot of good information about if it is a malicious site or not. If you have to submit it for, you can just on the, oh sorry, I just keep the data protection enabled. So if you are visiting any malicious site or somewhere, it will give you, let's see what this says about the Google. It tells you about whether this is a good site or not a good site. Okay, okay, got it. Okay, let's see. You know, so it will give you a site rank. Immediately you will be able to see if this is a clear-cut site or if it is still there. Let me just switch off my VPN because I'm not doing any investigations as of now. So this is a Google LLC. The URL, the complete URL is this. If you want to report malicious URL, you can just go and, submit the report. But there is no meaning of, doing it. You can also, refer to the site report. I'll definitely do a reject cookies. That what this site is, how the site looks like, where is the site hosted, IP geolocation, the SSL information, certificate transparency. If DMARC is enabled or not, that is a very critical information. If DMARC is there or not, then it's the site technology, the frameworks, the client-side frameworks, what type of JavaScript they are using, then the web browser targeting, what they actually do, and then you have the cascading CSS headers and all that stuff. Another very good add-on that I use is the multi-container. I think yes. So multi-container is very helpful when it comes to sock puppets. You can just switch between the puppets. So what it does is it create a different container for you. So what you are doing at here will not be known to this particular container. So if I go there, let me sorry, let me just do this. Go there. These both are the different containers. Let me open a different site. So it becomes very handy when you have to run the multi containers inside the browser. I generally use it a lot when I am doing a lot of investigations, and you can group it together, and you can do a lot and lot of stuff in between. Okay, and you can just pin up those sites to here, and so that is very handy when it comes to multi containers. Another very good website is the resurrect pages, which I use a lot. you know I think this is the resurrect pages only. Yes, resurrect pages. So for an example, if the page is being deleted or how the page is, you can just go to that particular site. Let's suppose if I have to go to the Internet Archive list, if this site is already present or not. So it will check what was the last snapshot that was being taken for this particular site. You can just show on the latest one what is the latest page that was being taken. So so that, okay, this page is not available, maybe somebody has already deleted it. Then another tool that I use is a screenshot. I think that everybody knows. The best part of the screenshot tool is it takes all the page screenshot automatically and save it in the folder that I want to use. This is my favorite tool, the Shodan. If I have to, look for Shodan, I just directly click it. It gives me all the open ports, what are the services, domain records, and all that stuff. Means this is the basic information that Shodan gives. Shodan is very powerful when it comes to the leaked detail, the leaked, these devices and all the stuff. I use it a lot to search when I'm doing the OSINT for any organization. I do a lot and lot. I use the Shodan a lot, and maybe if my other videos are coming, I will definitely go for Shodan information. I'll clearly create one video on Shodan. I'll also give away my Python script which uses Shodan APIs, because I have a premium Shodan with me, which uses the Shodan API, to do a lot and lot of searches. So cameras, IoT devices, leaked switches, servers, and a hell lot of stuff that we can get it on Shodan. Shodan is a very good, search engine. I think everybody should utilize this tool for their, day-to-day, OSNT task. Another tool that I use is the DNS analytics. If I'll use this is a very pretty much basic information that it provides. What this site is, where it is hosting, what are the DNS information, all that stuff. So if I'll say Cloudflare, it's just the basic things that I don't need to do the whois and all that stuff. So I use this particular site. You can just use the IP over here as well. If I'll go to domain, it gives the Shodan, and I can do the reverse IP lookup. Back in those days, reverse IP lookup we use a lot to identify if it is a shared server. If we are not able to hack that particular site, we hack some other website. We upload the shell over the web shell. From uploading web shell over there, we either do a routing on the server or symlink on that server, and then we jump to the main site, and we used to do a lot of defacements at that time. Okay, just to prove that defacement happens, I will keep the white image on. So of course, so just to check if we are able to jump to that particular site or not. Usually we used to do by attackers for the defacements. So reverse IP lookup is a very good tool. The last tool that I have is the user agent switcher. User agent switcher comes very handy when you are investigating something and the page is only available in a certain browser engine. Okay, for an example, if that page only supports Android phone, okay, or maybe a phone with a certain browser. So I use it a lot when whenever I see certain pages which are being created in with for some particular browser, so that a particular visibility. So if I use Android phone, and if I'll again refresh it, the page will turn into a mobile browser page. I think if it is on, yep. So if you can see the page is turned, I think better if you can see the Google. because sometimes these pages they load same in web and in mobile. Let me close rest of the pages. If you can see, it's clearly a mobile browser. I'll switch back to the default. I'll do this. So these are some of the tools that I use a lot. There are a lot of tools that I use for OSINT investigation, but this is how I generally start my investigation with. If something is coming on, I start my OSINT like this. So in if I get time, and if I with time and definitely encouragement, I will definitely create a lot more videos which will be helpful. How I keep myself on internet under the hood, how I keep my system safe if somebody should not come, because whenever we are targeting the dark web, of course, our details are being stored there. So how to keep ourselves away from those bad guys, and they should not come attacking us or the organizations that we work for. So this is how we start our investigations. So I hope you like this video. If you like it, please do like, share, subscribe. I don't know, I don't even know how many subscribers I have up to now. Many most have been left off. So thank you everyone. Cheers, have a nice weekend to everyone.